Morning class, I'm Will Kemp from Will Kemp Art School, and this week in the acrylic painting that we've been working on, we're going to introduce warmer colours into the foreground using some nice reds and yellows to really bring your eye forward into the piece. Then we're going to be working more in pastel on top of what we've already put down, tweak the sky a bit, and then our painting will be right on its way. Okay, let's carry on. So now I'm just going to wash in some of this cobalt violet, this is, just with some of the white. And I'm not painting it like in a block, I'm painting it more in like little dashes, because then I can start to use this underpainting to start to come through on the piece. Because what we're doing is, in terms of Impressionism, that's exactly what you're trying to get, an impression of what you're looking at. You're not worried about the details, you're just trying to get a general feel of it. You see on my paintbrush, you'll see that this side has still got all the green on, the other side has got more of the colour of the purple on. So when I'm working, I'll often kind of paint a bit, and then if it's a mingled in, you just kind of twist the brush, and you'll start to get these like more subtle mixes in your painting. Rather than constantly going back to your palette all the time, this one just helps you just to get those nice muted areas of your painting, rather than it just being like a solid block of colour. So you've got to use a bit more paint than if you've been using watercolours. You've definitely got to use more paint so that when it's actually pressed on there and painted on, you've still got enough to move that brush around, and you can go quite a far way with the paint that's already on the brush. So because this colour here is quite close to what we're looking at for the final piece, what I'm going to do is go back over the sky a bit, get this colour a bit better, just so we can start to have a basis of how the painting's coming along. It looks quite abstract at the moment, but we're really just starting to build on the shapes and build to see how all the colours work together. So again, just that cobalt blue and a titanium white. So again, if you want to twist that brush, get any of that colour into the sky, so it isn't just the one solid cobalt. Now I've got a bit of the green in there, a bit of this purpley colour in there. I mean, the photograph is just a guide really, you just use it as a starting point to your paintings. Watch out when you're doing landscapes. Something to really be aware of is the top left or the top right, essentially the corners in your piece. If you have these areas a little bit darker, what it helps to do is it helps to send the viewer's eye back into the painting, so that instead of the eye going off onto the side, just having a tiny bit on the corner will just make that difference, just to subtly bring the viewer back into view. For these areas of darker green, I'm just going to take the green and put a mix of the darker blue in. This is just the ultramarine blue. You see how it darkens it down nicely. And this is more very, very close to Viridian, which is what Monet would have used, which is a very dark blue-green. To reinforce some of these shapes in the mountain. And again, try and move those colours around your painting. I'm going to introduce some of the warmer colours in the foreground, so just start with the yellow. Again, I'm going to keep this watery to start with, just to wash it in. Notice how it's got these red areas in the bottom. It's just nice to have those